Hey, you guys. I am in my kitchen. It's November 6th, and I was getting ready to cut up vegetables and stuff, planning just a little meal prep for the next few nights. And I was sitting here thinking, I've been thinking all day about the election. I have been reaching out to my guides, trying to just get any kind of little drop in from them on, what to think with the results that we all woke up to today. And many of you are very happy. Many of you are distressed. And, we have room to hold both of those in our hearts. That's what this world is about. We're in a world of duality, so we understand one side of the spectrum, to the other. It's kind of like, a coin. You can't have a coin without heads and tails. You can't know up unless you know down. You can't know hot unless you know cold. And so many of us might have to consider that we played a role in a different lifetime that is the opposite of what we're playing now. And we may be trying to really understand that balance somewhere. That's one thing I heard. And the other thing, if you watched my video a few weeks ago on Trump, the question somebody asked, is he reincarnation of Mussolini, Stalin, Hitler? If you listen to that answer, and one thing that caught me in that, but I wasn't guided to elaborate on it, it was just a thought I had during that show. And I was discussing the whole victim triangle and how Trump really is in that triangle, and from rescuer to victim to persecutor, and he just cycles through. So part of me was thinking, oh, he's not going to win because he's a perpetual victim, and yet he's also portrays himself as the perpetual rescuer too, and his winning would speak to people in this country that voted for him feel like he's here to rescue them in some way, that he can change things, um, that he has enough power in the government in his role to change things. And so he's really appealing to people that are coming from a fear space and a dislike space. And instead of having, hope for the future, they've been fearful of the future. And so in that video, I remember saying that the country, half the country feels the need to be rescued. They feel like they just need bailing out. They need help. And it's kind of like people that want to, win the lottery, win the lottery, win the lottery. It's like that's going to solve all their answers. And a lot of the same idea for voting for Trump is people have that same hope, that same, he's going to answer all their prayers. But in that video, I said, half the country is feeling that need to be rescued. And then it just came out, I said, well, probably more than half. And in my mind, I went, oh no, that means he's probably going to win. But I didn't get any clarity or confirmation on that enough to share. Clearly he won. It's meant to happen. It's happening for a reason. And I think one thing that's really important for those of us that did not vote for him, and I'll admit I did not, and we have to realize we can't become victim to how the presidential election went, because then we're just playing the same game and we're in that same triangle. And so we have to really stand in our aware adult self and realize that we still have power. We still have control over who we are and how we react. And we can't get caught up in any fear of what his presidency might look like for us, because those people that voted for him, that's where they were. And we have to be mindful not to go there. And I'm not trying to isolate, one party to the next, who voted for Trump or not. I'm not, I want everyone to know the Akashic Records is open to everybody, no matter what political party. And I never bring my personal opinions into a session. I'm very good about that. And I really honor each and every soul that comes to me, for a session. So I am sharing a little bit more personal thinking here, yet it doesn't dismantle any ideas, thoughts, and feelings that I have towards each and every person that wants to explore the records. I will always honor that role for anyone. And if Trump called me, I would honor it for him too. So, and I can get out of my own way in that, which is, I think, what makes me a good reader. So, the other thing I wanted to say, in that session, Trump came through as labeled as a disruptor. He's one of the great disruptors. And we have to understand that. I'll show you this board. Hang on one second. I broke my board. But if you can see it, this is a test called Mari. I broke my little board, though. I ripped it the other day. It's a psychological assessment tool. And this, what you're looking at, we call the Great Round. And it is the wheels. It's the wheel of life. It's all the different stages that we go through. And look in that lower quadrant where you see endings, disintegration, transformation. Then the core's in the middle. Entry starts all over again. What I want to share about that is disruption is a necessary phase that we go through in life. And disruption is kind of like when things fall apart as we know them. And they have to in order for them to really change. And so we can welcome a disruptor if we stay looking at the big picture, knowing that change is going to happen. And we can keep our thoughts focused on the positive change. So right now, we're probably entering into disruption, that stage, and it's probably going to last a while. And we're not going to like what we're seeing. It's going to feel messy, chaotic, disorganized. It's going to feel harsh. Those are all those things in that stage of disruption. The beauty of it, though, is we don't stay stuck in a stage. We move through it. And on the other side of disruption is transformation. And so I'm choosing to look at this election and be open-minded. Clearly it was meant to happen. And how it's going to serve each and every one of us is still yet to be determined. And yet I understand that disruption is necessary for transformation to occur. And so I'm going to focus on that because in transformation, we get to experience freedom, awareness, end of, a struggle. We get to experience harmony. There's so much there. We get to celebrate new life, new ideas. And I'm just going to trust that this period is leading us to that. Did I think we were going to hit this a little sooner, the transformation? Yeah, I did. But we didn't. So we have to trust that this is happening for a reason, and it's always going to serve our highest and best. And we have to be mindful to not stay in fear and be open to how this will serve us at some point. And if we can keep that higher vibration, that higher perspective, we can move through this quicker, easily. We can uplift others that may still be in a fear space. And remember, it's just going to give us more opportunities to fight for the causes or, pray for the causes or stand up for the causes or support the causes that are dear to our hearts. And however we want to be with that, doesn't matter. There's no judgment. And I'm just hoping we can all share in that. And I just wanted to throw that out there for you to think about. Now, I am holding my live show questions in the Akashic Records on this Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. And I'm sure some questions will come through around it. I will be connected to the guides and the masters at that time, and I'll ask. So we'll see what they say and kind of go from there. They may have a bigger message that makes this, understandable from all sides of, I guess, everybody's viewpoint, if that makes sense. So anyway, just wanted to share that. I know everybody's having different reactions today, and totally understandable. And yet, as always, I will say, remain curious, remain the observer, and really refrain from reacting, if that makes sense. And just be in your heart about this all and trust in the divine that it knows what it's doing. There is a plan. So, thanks you guys for joining. I'm glad you caught me live today in my little pop in. If y'all have any questions, you're more than welcome to send them over, or else join me on Friday again at 3 p.m. Eastern, and we can explore even more and just see what happens. Okay. Thanks for joining me. I will see you soon and look forward to talking more. Okay. Bye, you guys. Oops, I don't think it ended. Okay, there. Bye, y'all.